Saturday. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the half hour of horror with me, Aaron McLean, and my co-host. Oh, hey, it's Chase. What's going on, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Aaron?
Fantastic. It's a beautiful sunny day. I've watched some weird movies. I'm ready to talk about it. This one I'm excited about because you got me to watch this movie, The Menu, which we're going to talk about. And I said, let's talk about The Menu. I'm excited to talk about this movie, but let's expand it into the absurdist world. And this is a weird genre, a weird subgenre, because absurdist kind of can be whatever you want. Because a movie can be like, I'm wacky and crazy, and you're like, movie, what are you talking about? It can be like, JK, LOL, absurdist, and you're like, I guess. Um, what is you? Where do we start with this?
I think we should start with the titular, what kind of brought this episode together. Of course, I'm talking about The Menu.
The Menu,
which is a phenomenal film. I watched it late last year for the first time.
Yeah,
and absolutely loved it. This film is just absolutely brilliant. You have amazing performances from Ray Fiennes, from Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, Hong Chow. It's honestly, it's so absurd, and the way a lot of it is like presented to you, like a lot of those fancy kind of cooking reality
Chef's
shows.
Table,
Because even the title card is Searchlight Pictures proudly invites you to the menu, and then
every
you get
act,
throughout is the course. It's first course, second course, and it includes like what is kind of the revolving theme of each act of that film.
It is very bizarre, and I love it because it doesn't start out weird. It actually starts out pretty normal, and then it gets creepier and creepier, and then it devolves into absurdity. It is completely taking its sights onto like the high-end food scene. It's really taking aim at the culture and the ridiculousness of certain aspects of like high culinary delights. And my wife and I love fancy eating. Like we try to go like once a year to like a crazy fancy restaurant, and we have a good time. My best meal I've ever had is in South Carolina. It's called Zero George. It's in Charleston, actually. It's called Zero George, and they had a beef Wellington there that made me cry. It was so fucking good. I took a bite and wept. And it's like, I could so see this meal fitting into this movie. And what makes it absurdist? When we talk about what is absurdist, there's some illogical things that begin to happen. And one of the moments in the movie, it devolves into just psychopathic craziness. And Nicholas Holt's character throughout the whole thing is like, what are we eating next? He cannot be fazed by the insanity around him. People
or when something crazy happens, whoa, that was unexpected. Like everyone else is horrified. He's like, whoa.
His behavior takes it into that thing because people start to behave in ways that nobody would behave. The things start to happen that like people just go along with the premise and the scenario. And Nicholas Hoult kind of guides us through that. Whereas Anya Taylor-Joy's character reacts like a normal human being, which is like, what is going on? This is absolutely insane. This is a very palpable absurdist film because I do think while people are like, this is ridiculous, you're like, yeah, that's the point. It doesn't go off the deep end like some of the movies we talk about. Some of the characteristics, I have 5 characteristics of an absurdist film. Illogical or nonsensical plots. This actually makes pretty good sense. It's a little weird. It certainly is a plot that can only happen in a horror movie. Surreal or fantastical elements. This one's pretty grounded. Themes of alienation and meaningless, often rooted in existentialist or absurdist philosophy. So this is where we start to get into it because the whole idea of like a meal not being finite, the chef's ideology that he brings into it, that's where we start to get a little weird. Dark humor. This is the blackest of Squid Ink dark humor. And then unusual characters or dialogue. Characters might be exaggerated archetypes or speak in nonsensical ways. And I think that this is like very much what it becomes. I love John Leguizamo in this movie. I love him
He's
in anything.
great.
He's one of my
He's
favorite
so
actors.
good.
He's so good in this. He's this washed up actor who's trying to like figure out what his next like deal is and what his next movie's going to be, and he's trapped in this situation, and as it
And he actually
goes
kind of
in bigger.
mentions that he kind of mentions at the beginning of the movie because he's talking to the kind of Wall Street bros
Yeah.
at the beginning. And they're like, "Oh, what are you doing now?" He's like, "Well, I'm trying to kind of get into my television presenter phase of my career where he wants to like, okay, I'm no longer a success as an actor. So you know what? I'm gonna." And we've seen that a lot of times with actors when their kind of career kind of washes up. They're
Oh,
like, "Oh, I'm gonna start maybe TV presenting
yeah,
and
he's
kind of
gonna
do a
Mario
television
Lopez that.
hosting."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it's a brilliant film because like I said, it's not the craziest one that we're going to talk about, but it is one of the ones that I think is a great entry point, especially if anyone has been to a fine dining restaurant and been served something and gone like, what do you mean you deconstructed the sandwich? That just means I have to put the sandwich back together.
I
Come
think
on.
I think my favorite story you told me, because here's the thing, we had talked about doing this episode a while ago.
Yeah.
Actually, if who are everyone listening or and watching, excuse me, watching, a couple months ago we did an episode on the two Smile movies. And I remember you had messaged me. We were trying to figure out what to do. And you were like, well, I just watched both the Smile movies and I just watched the Menu.
Yeah.
And we were kind of discussing, we were like, yeah, let's do smile first and we'll do the Menu later. So yeah, this has kind of been months in the work, but yeah, everything about this film is ridiculous. And the way I look at it is two of the characters, you have Anya Taylor-Joy and Nicholas Holt's characters. It's kind of like the two sides of us. Like Nicholas Holt, the way he reacts and to a lot of the things in the movie, it's like he's us, the audience, watching what's going on our screens. Where Anya Taylor-Joy is if it were us in real life, if we
Yeah.
were actually put in that situation.
That's smart, man. That's really smart because she also is subversive. She is not supposed to be there. This is not
Yeah.
for her eyes. And as the chef realizes, he's like, "You're not supposed to be here." She gets this peek behind the curtain of what's happening here. And most famously at the very end of the movie, we'll try not to spoil too much of what goes on, but she asks for a cheeseburger at one point, and that made me get so into making smash burgers. I kid you not. I bought a griddle, I got a really nice spatula, and I started making burgers. And like, I wanted to perfect a burger that looked as good as that one did in that movie because I was like, now I want a cheeseburger. You cannot watch this movie and not walk away being like, I want a cheeseburger. I don't care if you've been a vegetarian for 20 years. You're going to be like, damn, that does look, that looks tasty. Damn, she makes it look so good. He makes it look so good. I love it. This is filmed in Savannah, where I worked for 8 months. Jekyll Island is one of the locations where Walking Dead filmed. If you watch the season premiere of season 10, they start on the beach of Jekyll Island, and it's called Driftwood Beach. And there's turtles there and stuff. It's crazy, but this is filmed on that beach. And a lot of the people from Savannah that I worked with on Fear the Walking Dead, who are like stand-ins and background actors and stuff, they're in the movie because they're
Oh,
either
wow.
they're the chefs who are in the background. And it was just so funny to see like Rachel and be like, "Oh, I know her," and she said that it's like they went and did like an extensive training for like a couple of days with real chefs so that they could look like they knew what they were doing. And she's like, it was really fun. And then you had to get up there and look very serious doing what you're doing. And then he would clap and they'd be like, "Yes, chef." It's like, that's so fun. It is a very bizarre, super fun movie, and I encourage everybody to dive into this. And also, like, go experience fun food. Get you some sushi once in a while. Like, food is one of those amazing things we have humans have come so far with what you can do, and I just love a good culinary experience because it expands what you think taste is. I like it. I'm down.
And you know what I think is great about this film is that it not only kind of breaks down the kind of high class food culture,
Yeah.
it also kind of breaks down class structure. Because here, like you said, Ray Fiennes goes to Anya Taylor-Joy throughout the movie. He's like, "You don't belong here." It turns out, should I go ahead and kind of spoil it? I mean,
give a little bit. Yeah, he starts killing
okay.
people.
Yeah, so it turns out, so she is on this dinner as a date with Nicholas Holt, and you think they're kind of a couple, but it turns out his girlfriend, Nicholas Holt's girlfriend, who he made the reservation with, had broken up with him prior to the dinner reservation. So he hires Anya Taylor-Joy, who is a sex worker,
Yes.
to be his date that night. And Ray Fiennes kind of picks up on it. And it kind of like, he's like, "You don't belong here. You don't belong there out with them. You belong here back with us." It's kind of like he's looking at her as like, these people are high class, snobby, don't appreciate what I do. He's like, "You're working class like us. You belong back here with us."
Yeah. Oh my God. One of my favorite moments in this movie, because Nicholas Hoult is this fanboy. He's obsessed with it. Like, he's so on board with this bullshit that's happening. And the chef is like, "Well, fine, impress me. Cook something." And he's like, "Oh." And so he gets up there.
He
and
panics.
He panics and he cooks this this meal for him, and the chef takes it and then rips it to pieces. He's like, "It's dry, it's overbraised, you did a shit job." And he's just being destroyed by his hero, and then he whispers something into his ear and just breaks this man,
which we never learn what he says. And it's just like the next scene we see, okay, I know we're on YouTube, so I have to we see Nicholas Hoult had unalived himself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
see the feet swinging. Yeah.
Overall, this is just a great film. I mean, this was already one of the strongest films, which 2022, I think a lot of people watching right now will agree. 2022 was probably one of the strongest years for horror in our lifetime, just because we had a nice kind of mix of everything.
So much good stuff.
I mean, we had returning long dormant franchises like Texas Chainsaw Massacre came back. We had season 2 of the Chucky series. We had Scream come back after so many years. We had Hellraiser come back after so many years. We had great original stuff like Pearl,
Black Phone, Barbarian.
Black Phone, which, funny enough, Black Phone.
Yeah.
Black Phone, Barbarian, Nope. And I think really
Nope's on my list, man. We can talk about Nope.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. I didn't think of it like an absurdist horror, but yeah.
Nope falls into it because well, for me, Nope is absurd. A lot of what Jordan Peele does is absurdist. Like Us is very much an absurdist film. Get Out, very much an absurdist film, because the premise of the idea, and he literally says, he's like, "I think of a joke that we would have done for Key and Peele," and I go, that's not really that funny. It's more scary than funny. Oh shit. He literally approaches it as if it was a comedic idea. And especially like a film like Get Out, where it's like white people are stealing black people's bodies, is a ridiculous premise. But then he makes it very real and has a lot to say about it. And it's like, that's brilliant.
And then I remember the whole thing with Get Out when they had first advertised it. Because again, people around our age will know Jordan Peele from Key and Peele. Yes. We'll know him from Mad TV. We know him like it's like hardwired in our brain. It was hardwired in our brains before he became one of the most influential and best horror filmmakers of this generation. It was hardwired in our brain that Jordan Peele, comedian. Yep. So when I saw Get Out, I was like, oh, this is probably going to be a comedy movie. Then when you watch the movie, you're like, no.
He really knows how to take an idea that's absurd and make something real. Us, again, on the verge of absurdist because it's about the like Hands Across America people trapped in a bunker in
Yep.
like a weird clone version of themselves. That's an absurd idea. There's no realism to the concept, but then
No.
he makes it very real, and that's part of what makes certain absurdist films interesting. A premise that is impossible. The show Severance is so popular right now. It's a premise that's impossible. It's very much an absurdist idea, but then they make it very realistic and they make the characters go through this impossible situation. They see what happens. And I think that's like Get Out, Us, and Nope to an extent are in that vein. Like this, the thing about Nope that lends the absurdist like cred to it is not so much the alien aspect of it. It's everything with the monkey.
Yeah.
It's all the breakdown of Hollywood, the throwing out of child actors and
Treatment of animal actors.
That is more into sort of an absurdist place by the way it's presented, but it is, great. They make a great movie out of it. 2022 had a lot of great things in you got, like you said, you have The Menu. Nope is in there. Everything Everywhere All at Once is probably one of the greatest absurdist films of its time.
So good.
Not horror, but holy cow. Like, yes, the shoe standing up on its own when things don't behave as reality would. Everything Everywhere All at Once is 100% absurdist, and it is a brilliant film. Not horror, but that is the realm that we're in. If you have a movie that is not going to follow the real rules of the real world, and the characters aren't going to behave like characters really do, things are going to be absolutely ridiculous. Their first film is on my list, Swiss Army Man, the Daniels. And people are like, that's not horror. I'm like, you washed up on an island with a corpse, and the corpse starts like helping you out. How is that not horrific?
Burping and farting, and
you're on an island with a farting corpse. Swiss Army Man was such a delight for me because I had no clue what I was going into. I took my wife to see it, and we were like, what the fuck is this? And then by the end, we're like, it's beautiful. Oh, it's such a great commentary on love and the human situation. And the movie just like the movie does what like a Gilbert Gottfried or a Norm Macdonald would do. I'm going to start by just repelling everyone. I'm going to turn the audience off. I'm going to say jokes that aren't funny. I'm going to do things to make people want to boo me. But by the end, you're going to love me. And they bring them back. And that's something that like only certain comedians can do, is like start off on the worst foot and then somehow turn the audience back around.
Make it the best comedy show ever.
Exactly. Swiss Army Man started out so wrong. You're like, farting corpse movie. I don't know if I'm going to want to sit through this. And at the end, you're like, oh, it's so wonderful. I loved it. We've had some really good, weird shit lately. What's another one on your list, man?
Okay, this is going to be one of those. I think we're going to debate whether it's absurdist or not.
I love it.
It's kind of somewhat grounded in reality, but there are some moments that make you think, okay, that's a little absurd. I'm talking about 1997's Funny Games.
Oh,
and its American remake.
Oh,
Here's the thing. Here's what makes it so absurdist.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fourth wall breaking. So much fourth wall breaking.
You're on it.
There's scenes where he's getting ready to just commit this atrocity to kill her, and he looks at the camera and is like, well, should I do it? Oh, do you think she's gonna find the dog? Like, it's so wild. Like, I watched these for the first time just a few weeks ago, and yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, just to let everyone know.
It's horrendously sadistic, but they're very well made.
So mean-spirited.
Yes. It is. It's one of the things, like, I think there are important films to note because they are brilliant examples of how you build tension, but they are terrifying. They're really nasty and hard to sit through, but brilliantly made. And I think you are 100% right that there is an absurdist flair to it because the killers are aware that you're watching them doing that.
Yeah.
It's a commentary on people watching you do that. the whole purpose of the movie isn't about the violence. It's about your ingesting of the media. It's it's a commentary on us as people and how we our obsession with violence, our obsession with horror movies, our obsession with this sort of thing, and whether that is good or not. And
Right.
I think it's a very interesting take on that. And a lot of horror movies do that well, but I think Funny Games is one of the starkest ones because it literally looks you in the face and go, "Yeah, how you liking it? You having
You're
fun there,
kind of
buddy?
enjoying this, aren't
Yeah,
you?
sick fuck.
And
Yeah, it is.
even at should I go into the ending?
Yeah, do it, man.
So the ending basically, okay, should we do like a little pop-up thing to keep it talking just in case there's like spoiler warning or something, and then we just keep it up just in case.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and then we'll take it off whenever we're done talking about the ending. Yeah, so okay. All right. So if you're here with us, okay, cool. If you're not muting us, cool. Okay, so basically these two young men go in, they first they kill the son,
Yeah,
the
it's
young
rough.
son. It's a very heartbreaking scene. Then they kill the father. Then they basically tie the mother up and take her out put her on a boat, and they sail onto the lake, and then they push her off. And the entire time they're on the boat, they get ready to push her off. And after they push her off, they're talking about sci-fi movies or something like that. Like they're just normal. Like they just push her off the boat. Oh yeah, what do you think would actually happen if this? And it's so. And again, that's where it kind of goes to the absurd nature of it.
It's the callousness of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but it's
is
also
100%.
it's so cold. And then at the end, they go to the neighbors who are across the lake and just rinse and repeat, do the same thing they did to get into that neighbor's house. And the very last shot of the movie is just one of them looking right at you through the camera and then gives a shit-eating grin.
Oh,
all right, spoiler off.
So I think the big difference between Funny Games, I've only seen the original. I didn't see the remake because I had enough. I had enough the first time.
It's the same movie,
Same
just
movie.
in English.
Oh, cool. The difference between this and a movie like The Strangers, which is basically the same setup and kind of the same idea, people go into a random house and torture people and are kind of sadistic about it, is the fourth wall break and the fact that this has so much to say about you as the audience participating in this. You made this happen. You paid for this ticket. You're on the ride now. Whereas, I think Strangers, which is still more of a narrative. It's not breaking that fourth wall. It's not trying to tell you how to feel about this or insinuate that you somehow caused this. And I think that you're right. I didn't think about that, but adding it to the list.
Yeah. Izzy in the comments actually put one. Yorgos Lanthimos, who is also a great absurdist filmmaker. The only thing I've seen of Yorgos Lanthimos is Kinds of Kindness. Again, not a horror film. Very absurd, though. Very absurd, which I don't know if you've seen that yet, Aaron. It's worth a watch.
On my list, we have Poor Things because that's the closest thing he's done to horror.
Okay.
Is an absurdist film, but like he did The Lobster, he did Dogtooth, Killing of a Sacred Deer. Dogtooth's fucked up. I saw that one too. I'm not sure if it's horror, but it's really messed up, man. He is very much an absurdist director. The Lobster, ridiculous, an impossible premise. It's one of those ones that you're just like, what? If you don't find love, you're going to turn into a lobster? What? But it fits, and this is why I think it's important to talk about absurdist films, because a lot of people hate them because they aren't expecting when they go into. There was a movie specifically, Mother, and it had Jennifer Lawrence. And yeah, real messed up, weird one. Mother, and it's a pregnant woman. All these people start showing up to her house, and things get wild, and she's like pulling her heart out. It is a super bizarre, absurdist film. It represents things, though. Like, it is using its absurdity to be about like climate change and stuff. Like, it has a really deep thread in there that it doesn't tell you what it is.
has like a heavy religious, like Christianity influence to it
Big
too,
time.
because
Yeah.
where you could look at it where um I am blanking on his name right now. And I love
Javier
a lot of
Bardem.
it. Javier Bardem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I heard mother and that scrambled my brain.
Yeah. 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 It's that kind of
Javier
movie, man.
Bardem kind of plays the God character,
Hmm.
where Jennifer Lawrence kind of represents. And I was kind of reading a whole thing about this film, Mother, and they kind of explained it in kind of religious context.
Yeah.
And as they said, it has like some Christianity elements to them. There's like some Hindu elements to it, where Christian like so Javier Bardem is kind of the God character of the
God
film
figure.
that
Yeah.
kind of represents God. Jennifer Lawrence kind of represents the earth.
Hmm.
And then you have the beginning with the two brothers. One kills the brother, one kills the other brother, and that's kind of the Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel story. Jennifer Lawrence. Should we talk about the baby scene?
Yeah, man. It's intense.
Ugh.
It's
She gives birth to the baby. The people who are kind of Javier Bardem, who plays this author, this kind of well-known author character. He has his followers. They see the baby, they kind of carry it up, and it kills the baby. They said that kind of represents God bringing Jesus to the earth
mhm.
to die for humanity.
You died for your sins. It's very heavy allegory, and I think that's a thing that it's not in my list, but like heavy allegory is a big part of certain absurdist films. This one's a rough watch because you don't know what's
It's not easy.
you're like I don't know what I'm watching. I don't know what this is about. You think you know what it's about. It starts out as a normal movie and then it descends into madness. But if you're along for the ride, the performances are out of control.
Oh, especially Jennifer Lawrence. She was, I mean, I have very mixed feelings about this film.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about this film is Jennifer Lawrence gives quite possibly one of the best performances of her entire career,
Of her
which is saying
entire
something,
career. Yeah.
because she's a phenomenal actress.
It's bonkers. I mean, it really is. It's one of those ones you're like, Darren Aronofsky. He does a lot of weird stuff. It's like I
Black
like that.
Swan.
Black Swan. Again, it's like, is that absurdist? It goes there. It gets like at
It
the
gets
end.
weird.
Well, because at the end, when she literally transforms into a swan, and the movie's like, not fake, not a dream. She turns into a swan. That's absurdist. Yeah. Wow. Okay, man.
And then it goes back to, oh, well, then it turns into like, oh, she didn't really turn into a swan. She didn't really kill this person. It's just all in her head. Or is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I like Black Swan though. Like that movie. I like Black Swan better than Mother, but Mother's, I don't know. It's just like you said. It's hard to recommend, but also hard to deny.
Black Swan's one of my favorite films. I actually have the poster hanging up
there.
right there on my wall.
That's amazing. You have great posters, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mother is wild one. How about one? Okay, let's get a little international. This came out in 2021, and I saw this movie and it rocked my world. This is Titane. So this is 2021. Julia, sorry, Julia Ducournau. Let's say that's how we pronounce it.
Close enough.
Titane. A woman is a floor show model at car shows. She dances on the hoods of cars. Creepy men touch her and talk to her unwanted attention. A man stalks her in a parking lot. She turns around, stabs him in the parking lot. She has now killed a man. She then is leaving the parking lot and a car is like out there. And the car's like, yo, what's up? I kid you not. The car is just in the parking lot and the doors fly open like, yo, what's up? She gets inside and bangs the car. I can't make this up. She then becomes pregnant and goes on the run. She has a car baby inside of her. She goes on the run to and dresses up as a young man. She binds herself, shaves her head, and becomes a young man. She meets a firefighter who's like, "Oh my God, you're my lost son," and she's like, "Yeah." Now
Sure, I am.
sure, yeah. And he brings this young man into the fire station where he works, and it devolves into the wildest thing. Like one of those movies that, like, I don't know if there's allegory to French political situations. I don't know if they're trying to say things on gender identity because it's saying something because it's French. I'm like, are there political things that I'm missing from a cultural standpoint there? But from my standpoint, this is wild because it deals a lot with like masculinity. It deals a lot with forgiveness. It deals a lot with sorrow. She starts turning into a car. She starts getting metal plates growing up her body, pistons coming out of her back. She when her water breaks, it's motor oil. And then the father, in this like horror, like this thing, he's like, "I know you're not my son and I don't know what you are, but I love you." And that moment, she like breaks down as like, "That's all I ever needed." She gives birth to a car baby, like a very Cronenberg car monster. And the police, the firefighter father just cradles it and hugs it. And he's like, "You're my grandson." And that's the movie. And you're just like, it is one of the most batshit crazy things I've ever seen, but I think it's brilliant, but I don't know what it means.
I'm adding this to my watch list. I need to see this.
Yeah.
I have to see this movie.
And you look online and people are like, "That movie where that chick bangs a car," and you're like, "Yeah, that's what happens." But like, that's not what it's about. Like, it's not about cars. It's about, I don't like, I, you could talk for hours about what the allegory is. And again, I would really like to talk to somebody from France or a film scholar from France to tell me what is it about, because in America you could really see a lot of the obsession with car culture, the obsession with materialism, the idea, this obsession with masculinity and gender issues. I think there's a lot of that in here, but you're like, is that what it's about? I don't know. It's so fascinating. Tatane.
I'm gonna have to watch this. It's on Tubi.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm watching this tonight.
Yeah, it is pretty bonkers.
Aaron, you're changing my watch plans because right now I have out for delivery. I had ordered The Cell on Arrow Video.
Yeah.
I was gonna watch that tonight whenever it got delivered, but I'm changing my plans.
The Cell's great though, man. Borderline absurdist in its own right because of its bizarre premise, but more in like a techno way. I love The Cell.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
Jennifer Lopez was killing it in that movie.
One movie I want to bring up. This is going to be another one of those. Is this absurdist moment?
Yeah. Is it absurd?
Mayonnaise an instrument? So I had to throw a SpongeBob reference. It's a recent film. It literally just came out 3 months ago. I actually got to see it in theaters through a mystery screening.
What?
Aaron, I saw on your letterbox. I think you had just recently watched it.
What is it?
It just came out on DVD this week.
Oh, Companion! I love Companion. This is one of my favorite movies. This is one of my favorite movies last year. Is it absurdist?
The whole premise. Okay, should we put another spoiler thing? Because I want people. Okay, we're doing another spoiler thing. If you want to put us on mute. Okay. The whole premise is, so basically, it starts out as kind of like a romantic comedy. It's basically about a couple played by Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher going to their friend's lake house for the weekend. So while they're at the lake house, something happens where one of the friends' boyfriend, who is a much older Russian man, who's implied to be kind of a sleazy character, attempts to take advantage of her while they're together alone by the lake, and she stabs him in the neck. She comes back freaking out and it turns out she's an AI robot doll, companion doll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sexbot 5000.
Yeah.
I thought this was one of the most brilliant films to expand on the ideas that were set out. Okay, I'm going to end the spoiler alert real quick. I think Companion is one of the smartest films to expand on the ideas that Blade Runner set out. Like, Blade Runner posits, if you are not real, are you alive? Period. And Companion expands on that in a way that is brilliant, where it says, if I am cognizant, does it matter? Does it matter what you think I am? If I know, if I think, therefore I am, if I am alive, if I believe that I'm alive, does it matter what I am? You still have to treat me with respect. And I thought that my wife and I talked about this movie for hours afterwards, because the movie itself is great, but I think what it posits is almost stronger than the movie itself. Here's a question I have about it, and I really want to meet the filmmakers. All the filmmakers in this movie, the director, the writer, the producers, are all men, all white men.
And if any of the filmmakers are watching the show right now, you
up.
are more than welcome to join us. You are more than welcome to join us. Just hit up one of the Block of Horde social media accounts. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. I would talk to you guys in a second, because it's all white men, and I really want to know, how did you get such a fascinating feminist message? Like was that on purpose, or was that just a byproduct of the conversation? Is because if you had asked me after watching, I would have thought it was written by a woman or directed by a woman, because it is a feminist lens. It is a woman who sort of is tired of being used as an object. And here's something, my wife noticed this, and I was like, damn, film scholar over here. She said, the only real person in the movie, the only real woman in the movie, is the one who nails it on the head. And she says, I'm just an object. It's a transactional relationship. I give the Russian mobster what he wants, and I'm arm candy for him, and he pays for my stuff. She was the only one who didn't see a fantasy about it. She was so real about what she knew exactly what her position was, and she was accepting of that, where she's just like, I'm arm candy. That's what I am. And you're like, damn, brutal.
To an extent, Lucas. So there is a gay couple in there. One of them played by Lucas Gage, who has really been killing it in the horror genre.
Yeah, we were talking about him.
Yeah,
and his partner's played by the guy who's from What We Do in the Shadows, who I also love. They were
nice.
Yeah, they were great.
And he kind of. Should we go into another spoiler thing?
We'll throw it up, but yeah, go for it.
Because it turns out midway through the movie, turns out he is also a companion bot.
Great twist.
Great twist. And but the thing is, when they're hunting but the thing is, his partner doesn't think that he is a companion bot, or no, his partner doesn't think that he knows he's a companion bot. Then he kind of realizes that he's like, he was like, I've known for years I'm a companion bot.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of like another thing where he's kind of self-aware.
I loved this movie. I was so blown away by how it approached it. I think it delves into kind of just a funny place, which is why, because I wonder if it is absurdist, because there is a good bit of comedy to it, but the comedy is acknowledged. It knows it's being funny. It does use absurd elements and situations, but it also, I wouldn't consider Blade Runner an absurdist film. So I'm trying to how close is this? It makes me wonder, but it is but funny.
Also, another spoiler. Let's put another spoiler. All right. So we'll just wait. Izzy, I see you in the comments mentioning the monkey. I would definitely consider that an absurdist film. That one is really good, because that one is very ridiculous. we'll talk about that when Aaron gets back because I don't have access to the spoiler. Oh, there he is. Okay.
I don't even know how that happened. It was just like, bye.
Yeah. So
Boink,
yeah, so
spoiler alert.
spoiler alert. Okay. I mean, okay, so again, spoiler alert. If you want to mute us for a few minutes, that's fine. So yeah, so even at the beginning of the movie, Sophie Thatcher's character, Iris, she's like, two of the best days of my life. What's Jack Quaid's character's name? Let me go on Letterboxd because I'm bad with character names. So companion. Okay. So Josh, she was like, the two best days of my life were the day I met Josh, and then the day I killed him.
The day I killed him.
So she kind of lets you know this is how the movie's going to begin, and this is how the movie's going to end.
Yeah, it is. Well, and one of my favorite movies of all time is Sunset Boulevard, and the movie starts with him saying, "Let me tell you about the day I died." And I love when movies set that up right. And even Tangled starts that out. The movie Tangled, the Disney movie. Let me tell you about the day I died. It's like, yeah.
American Beauty's the one like that too.
Yeah. They set you up from the get-go that you're like, whoa, where are we going with this? One of my favorite moments in this movie is when the mechanics show up and they're like, do you think he was lying? He's like, oh yeah, that guy was totally lying. He's fucked. Because I was like, no way they believe them. No way they believe his story. They're gonna figure. And he immediately, the second I was thinking it, he immediately figured out like, we have it all recorded on the sensors. He's fucked.
Yeah, that's when he's like, oh fuck.
Oh yeah, when he realizes, man, it's over. Let's go back. I'm going to take you way back to a one that's super fun. This is one of my favorite bizarro ones. House 1977 or Houseu if you
one I have not seen. I'm interested to hear about this one.
Oh my gosh, man. This is it's so hard to describe. Hoping to find a sense of connection to her late mother, Gorgeous takes a trip to the countryside to visit her aunt at their ancestral house. She invites her 6 friends, Prof, Melody, Mac, Fantasy, Kung Fu, and Sweet to join her. The girls soon discover that there's more to the old house than meets the eye. It is a haunted house movie from Japan that is one of the first films to ever use visual effects. It's bonkers. They get there and it crosses between like soap opera beautiful and Evil Dead bonkers weirdness. And it is a movie that some people love. It has a huge cult following because of its weirdness. Most famously, there's a scene where a girl gets eaten by a piano. It's silly. It's like literally just like we're having fun with that. It's so weird. I don't even know how to describe it. But it's worth a watch, but it will not make sense. I'm trying to pull up some more images from like what's going on in this movie. It does have some pretty bonkers visual effects, like a head comes out of the well and like talks to her. There's like this cat that's a motif that sprays blood everywhere. There's weird like animation moments that are in line with like Monty Python. The cat is a big thing. There's a ghost that bites your butt. It is so trippy and weird, but like fun. People either love it or they hate it. Yeah, when the piano bites off her fingers, it's just weird digital effects. I don't know. I think everybody should watch it once and decide what you feel about it. But just be prepared. There's a moment where you're gonna be like, did somebody put acid in my popcorn? What is happening to me right now?
A lot of the weird animated effects and stuff like you were describing and random animated moments, it kind of sounds like Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Very Scott Pilgrim. It's just such a weird movie. But I think like I said, cult following to the max though. Like people love this movie for the cult nature of it and how weird it is. And it doesn't care. It's like, yeah, have fun, man, or don't. It doesn't matter to us. Absolutely, it's a masterpiece of absurdist horror, and one of those ones that, if you find it with the right audience, you're going to have a great time because everybody's going to be like cheering it on and having a great time with it.
Another one I want to mention, Izzy brought it up in the comments. A very recent release 2 months ago.
The Monkey. Yeah, very much so. Very bonkers absurd weirdness. Stephen King, a Stephen King tale brought to life by Osgood Perkins.
Osgood Perkins. I know his original stage name was, because his name is Osgood Perkins. I think he used to go by Oz Perkins. Now he's going by Osgood Perkins.
Oh,
but yeah, very absurdist. Even with this previous film, I don't want to discuss The Monkey too much because it literally just came out
we've done
not even 2 months ago.
We've done so many spoiler alerts. Everybody's just going to turn us off. Go check it out. Very absurd, but in like a fun way. It's having a good time.
It's now on VOD.
Oh yeah. Oh, I need to watch that again.
Which is weird because it was in theaters. Which, I mean, not weird, but cool, because like my local theater, that's like not even joking, it's like a minute and a half from my house, like literally just lost it this weekend because they devoted a bunch of 4 screens to Minecraft, the movie. It was in theaters, at least the local one I love going to, for almost 2 months. So that's awesome.
I like it when a movie has longevity. Hundreds of Beavers is still in theaters. Not a horror film, but super funny if you guys like that stuff.
One I do want to bring up.
Yeah, what you got?
This film is like the king of ridiculous for me. Rubber.
I got Rubber right here. Here you go. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is a great movie. Absolutely absurdist. It's like, what if a tire was a killer? And you're like,
and it had psychic powers.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know if this is going to be good. And they're like, check it out. And you're like, that's actually pretty good. Yeah. Fun fact, the people who created Rubber, because in the movie, the tire moves by itself and it's remote controlled. Those guys went on and it inspired BB-8. The technology from Rubber is what made BB-8 exist. And I was like, that's freaking cool. That robotics led to our fun little droid from the later Star Wars films. But yeah, Rubber is it's about a killer tire. And they take it so seriously. It is treated as exactly like a classic slasher horror film, but it's a tire. I mean, it's one of those movies you're like, I can't tell you if it's good, but they treat it as serious as Heart Attack, and it's fun, and the deaths are good, and
just go back and have fun with it.
It is super funny.
Just go with the ride. That's all I gotta say. If you watch it, just go with the ride. Just go with how ridiculous it is.
Homicidal car tire named Robert. Yeah, it's very silly. Yes, Beau is Afraid is definitely an absurdist weirdo movie. Sorry to Bother You. This is a movie that totally tricked me because I was like, what am I watching? I don't know what this is going to happen. When we get to the island of Dr. Moreau level mutant horse people, it was like, this is brilliantly bizarre. Such a very interesting movie. It's a lot something that's very interesting, and I think this is I read while researching some of this stuff why there's so many great black absurdist films. They're like, our history is full of absurdities, things that you're just like, how are you even serious that this is reality? And those stories can be made very well into absurdist films, such as Sorry to Bother You, Nope, Us. They clone Tyrone, and it's like that sort of that history and the things that have happened to them make for absurdist stories. And we're like, that's ridiculous. And they're like, is it though? Is it? Because It's not that far off from our lives, the things that people have done to us in the name of racism. I'm like, that's fascinating, and also
And
makes for great movies.
the thing is that's great about this movie is they advertised it on the back of, yeah, this is going to be like, I thought it was going to be Office Space, but for telemarketers.
Yeah.
And that's the way they advertised it. And that's how the beginning of the movie is. It's kind of like a black Office Space, but with telemarketers.
Yep.
And then it just goes into, like you said, mutant horse people, and like a conspiracy with like a billionaire.
Oh, the horse people. Yeah, yeah. It's bonkers. And I love this movie.
He presents the idea to them too. Like it's nothing. Like he's like, yeah, you get to be a horse person who never gets tired, and you'll get to have a huge cock. Like,
which the movie doesn't shy away from that, and you're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. It is bonkers. What a bonkers, goofy, like goofy premise again, but then they just make it very real, and I love that. It's Sorry to Bother You's great. Oh man. So here's a weird one. This is a movie that I saw when I was in college, 1996, The Killer Condom. It is
what? That
yes,
sounds awesome.
The creature, the killer condom itself, designed and created by H.R. Geiger, who created the alien. I shit you not. This is a very weird movie. It's French. A bizarre alien that looks like a condom comes down and starts killing people. New York City detective Luigi Macaroni investigates a string of mysterious penile mutilations at the Hotel Quickie. After Macaroni attempts to have a tryst with a gigolo he meets in the lobby, a carnivorous condom bites off his right testicle and flees, which sets the detective off on a quest to stop the predatory prophylactic once and for all. Amazing. But it's a weird one. It's super it's absurdist in the way only French can do absurdists. Like, it is full of puns that don't translate well, and then this wild killer condom with teeth. Like, come on. I saw this in college just because I was like, wait, H.R. Geiger made a condom monster? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I think I need to find this. And I tracked it down, watched it, and he sure did.
I mean, even if you want to talk about, like you mentioned, condom with teeth, we could also go into a film that came out probably 10 years later, Teeth.
Very much. Yeah. There you go. There's the condom created by H.R. Geiger. It's a movie. It's pretty wild, but it was before I think I could appreciate absurdist in a way that you're like, this is just almost too this is almost too ridiculous. Elinka, big props today on that one, man. That was fucking funny. Speaking of teeth, the movie Teeth, that's a great point. I'm going to add that to the list because I didn't have it on here, but Teeth is about the vagina dentata, and they, again, an absurd premise that they play as serious as a heart attack. But it's borderline because that is a mythological thing. It's not like a, oh, what if? It's kind of like that's a historical concept. So it's like, but the way they handle it, because I think they handle it seriously, it is in that vein. Let's put it on the list.
Izzy just put in the comments, what about does the substance count?
I think so, because they don't explain the scenario. You don't need to know what the substance is or why the substance works. They're just like, here's an idea that you don't need to ask questions about what happens to the character. It's the scenario makes it, and the fact that everybody just goes along with it. Because, like, if you try to explain, wait, if you're 7 days on, but you share memories, but you don't share experience, but your body feels like, it doesn't work. If you just go along for the ride and you're like, it's silly. Also, the fact that sometimes she's super frail and sometimes she's borderline super strong, like running down the hallway as this frail old lady. It's absurd, but you're along for the ride. 100%. Tusk,
Yeah,
100%.
good one, Karen.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going to throw Tusk
Tusk
on the
is
list.
yeah, that one basically a man kidnaps another man and basically makes him a human pet seal thing.
Yep. Well, and that falls into the line when it talks about the ideas of, when you think about, uh, like the beetle, you wake up and you're now a beetle. The ideas
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
like kind of like how the lobster did, themes of alienation, the ideas of Albert Camus or Samuel Beckett, often fall into that. Let's see here. Yeah, adding the substance and Tusk to the list. You guys are starting to get it now. It's weird though, because it is a subgenre that almost has no rules. If it's hard to define it, it can fall into an absurdist category.
One I got to ask actually. Um, would this be absurdist? The Happy Death Day movies,
Happy Death Day.
because that one
Ooh,
she's waking up the same day as her birthday. The day ends with her being murdered, and she has to keep reliving that day until she finds out who her killer is.
I love I love these. I really like these movies. I think they're very. I like the Groundhog Day nature of it when you're stuck in the Mobius loop.
Right.
I love Groundhog's Day. Um, Potentially, yeah. I could see an argument for it just on the premise alone that they can't really explain. I think
And
they
kind of the
try.
isolation part, because here she is. She knows she's in this reality where she keeps living the same day. Oh, that's another good one, The Fly.
The Fly, yeah.
Um,
Again, The Fly plays it very serious. But
yeah,
it is literally the Albert Camus story of guy wakes up as a beetle and his body has changed. I think The Fly is that fine line of like body horror and absurdist. Because I think absurdist is when you like almost can't explain it, where The Fly
right,
takes a very scientific approach,
right,
where it's like,
right.
hey, we got these teleporter pods. The Fly is a great example of
Yeah,
of of it.
and I think with the whole thing though with Happy Death Day is that they both movies they don't take themselves seriously.
Yeah,
They're pretty much like these movies are ridiculous. We're really campy.
yeah, um, yeah. Anything that Lars von Trier's doing is going
Yeah,
to be pretty wild. The House of Jack built. They do very much play with the absurdities of a serial killer. Like he drives home and the body in the back has just been leaving a blood trail straight to his house, and then at the last second it just starts to rain, and he's like, "Oh yes, Saved by the Rain." Um, that movie's a rough one. Yeah.
really anything Lars von Trier does is so
Oh, he's definitely up there.
Antichrist, nymphomaniac. Oh God.
Oh my god, yeah. There's movies. Those are some wild ones. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Is it absurdist? Purely on theory alone. They're like, what if
Yeah,
aliens were clowns? And like the fact that everybody sees these mutant clowns is just like, haha, look at that guy in makeup. And you're like, that's
they think it's a
obviously,
circus clown,
yeah, that's
and
obviously.
then you get to the point where they start kidnapping and attacking people, and they're calling the police, and you have the veteran police officer who's like, "Stop calling me!" Like he thinks the whole town is in on this prank.
I really think that like one of the biggest staples of something that's absurdist is the movie is asking you as the audience to ignore an aspect of logic. They're asking you to ignore something. They're asking you to ignore the beetle in the room. They're asking you to ignore the convention that creates this scenario. They're asking you to ignore that they're talking to you through the television screen. Like when you break the fourth wall, it's something that you're not supposed to do. But when a movie does it, it's asking the audiences like, yeah, forget that happened, move on, let's keep playing in it. There's certain aspects that absurdity is asking you to ignore or accept as reality, which I think is a fun thing to play with but hard to define. The Greasy Strangler is one of the weirdest films I've ever seen because it's like a Tim and Eric sketch that goes on way too way too long. Very, very bizarre to that right, where you're just like, these guys are trying to decide how to pronounce potato chips, but none of them can do it properly. Like, That's 10 minutes of the movie.
I mean, you got fried berry, which is aliens take control of a drug addict's body.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
take a joyride for it.
Yeah,
Even
fried berry is wild.
even street trash, where it's
I
something we
saw
talked about a couple months ago with
Melt movie.
Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the Melt episode, which check that out too.
I did see oh, Izzy. That's that. I don't know if that movie counts as therapy. That might make it that might make it worse. Yeah, fried berry is wacky, man. Everything Ryan Kruger does, man. Even his new version of Street Trash has like a weird alien in it.
yeah. Which, you think of the first Street Trash, it deals with kind of the government experimentation with drug addicts and kind of the homeless, where then you get to the other one, the new one, it's like, oh, there's this like weird alien that just hangs out with the homeless people.
Yeah.
And you're just supposed to accept that. Like,
yeah,
it's totally normal.
Bizarre. If you got Theater of Blood, I need to add this to the list. Because Dr. Fives, the Abominable Dr. Fives is it's great because it's Vincent Price as a disfigured like Phantom of the Opera style character. Very weird movie. Almost comedic, but almost not. But the movie that he did a little bit later that I absolutely love, but is like kind of silly and I think fits this is Theater of Blood. And I love me some Vincent Price. He's campy, he's delicious, he's a great actor. And in this movie, he is a aging actor who critics have been bashing him for years. And so he starts killing them in like theatrical ways, and it keeps getting weirder and weirder. And I love it. It was so fun, but again, there's aspects of it that like completely unbelievable. He tricks one critic into thinking he's on like a reality cooking show, and then serves him something very precious to him, but like it's just bananas. Like there's no world where this guy would believe that this is happening. He tricks these people into oh my god, there's a scene where they're talking about they're all very Shakespearean kills as well. He has these knives on like a toy train and is slowly being lowered into a guy's eyes, and they keep like trying to save him from it, but the knives keep getting closer. It's just great, super elaborate, very theatrical, super dramatic. It's a great movie.
I'm gonna check that out now. And again, for anyone there, we will be dropping the letterbox list Aaron's curating on our Discord, the Block of Horror Discord, after the show, and in the YouTube comments. So keep an eye on that if you want to see any of the films that we've been talking about today.
Absolutely, Uzumaki. Anything that Junji Ito did has lives in this world. I love Uzumaki. Junji Ito is a master, just absolutely incredible. Very bizarre worlds and things he's read. Read his comic books first. Go back. You can watch the movies later, but I think nothing beats turning that page and seeing an image that absolutely destroys your brain. I love it.
Would you consider, because I've been thinking about, you talk about some of the rules and stuff, and kind of like one of those, just kind of, it gets wilder and wilder, but you as the audience, you just got to go with it. I don't want to go too deep into it because sometime next month we might be doing an episode on it. The Final Destination films.
Oh yeah,
especially as they go on, because the first one, it's about the group of teens that avoid a plane crash because of someone's premonition.
Yep.
And now death's coming from them by using death means that kind of look like unaliving themselves, or kind of like regular realistic accidents, where the later films, as it goes on, it starts getting wackier and wackier. Like, where it shows like a trail of water going into an electrical socket, and then you're like, oh, how's this going to happen? And the person just gets hit in the face with a rock that got hit by a lawnmower.
Yes.
It starts getting more ridiculous each movie, which again, I don't want to go too deep into it because I'm not going to give away too much, but it's something we have planned for next month. So
we absolutely are going to get into these movies. I think here's what I think becomes absurd is the movie trying to extend its premise beyond the reality of where it lands. It's like one of those things where like it keeps reaching and reaching and reaching to the point that you're like, all right, but this is awesome, so I'm stuck. Like it.
Yeah,
it is absolutely ridiculous how it's like a Rube Goldberg machine of expectations where you're like, oh, like you said, oh, this is going to get them. No, that's going to get them. And then you're always strict. And
it's like the most simple shit that gets them.
Oh, I love it. I love those movies so much. I'm super excited for the new one because again, I don't care about the lore behind it. Just keep setting up these ridiculous kills. I mean, it ruined log trucks for everybody. That series is fantastic. We're going to get into it. They're just so good because the brilliance of it is it cut out the middleman of a Jason Voorhees. We're here for the kills. We're here for the setup. We're here for the tension. And it's like, I don't need a guy in a hockey mask to do that. I can have a garbage disposal in a sink do just as much work as Jason Voorhees. I love that. I love that. Those are some of my favorite ones. Here's one of my favorites to come out in 2010. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's just a straight comedy. I don't know if I'd put it in the absurdist world because it's the only ask it's doing is what if we just swap factions? You got the hillbillies and the evil kid teenagers in the woods. We're just going to take the genre and turn it on its head. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's truly an absurdist film because it's not asking me to disbelieve anything. It's just a genre swap, but I love this movie so much, and it seems like a good place to mention it.
It's basically if you take the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, the one from 1974.
Yep.
And again, like you said, you swap it. The hillbillies with the weapons are the good guys. The teenagers are the villains. Like, it's so great. And they do it. It's so genius how they handle it all.
Brilliantly silly, geniusly funny, laugh out loud nonstop. I think this movie is a riot. And just because when somebody's like, you're like, it's absurd, but it's the only reason I think I can put it on the list.
It works.
Yeah. I don't think it's an absurdist film in the philosophical sense of cinephiledom, but it is.
But it's pretty absurd.
It is silly as shit. And I love that movie, and everybody should watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Oh man. Well, yes, here's our absurdist list, guys. We really we hit a bunch of them. We didn't talk about all of them. And like I said, some of these are not horror, but they're just absurd films that you should watch.
Yeah.
Being John Malkovich is a masterpiece in absurdity, but not necessarily horror. Weird as hell. But yeah, y'all should check that out. Like I said, we'll throw this up in the Discord, and thanks for everybody tuning in. We love to see you guys on a Saturday. We have some fun stuff coming up. So Chase, plugs. Tell them what's up.
Yeah, so you can, of course, see me here every Saturday with you, Aaron, on Half Hour Horror, on YouTube, Block of Horror, X at Block of Horror, and most importantly, the Block of Horror virtual world at blockofhorror.com. Check out the Block of Horror virtual world at blockofhorror.com. Mm-hmm. And then also you can follow me on my socials, see what I'm watching, see what I'm collecting, at Oh Hey It's Chase on Letterboxd, Instagram, and Blue Sky. And then Oh Hey It's Chase. Wait, I'm on TikTok too. It's Oh Hey It's Chase. I think there's a underscore after Chase. But yeah, follow me on there.
Amazing. Yeah, you can follow me on all the socials that I'm on. Instagram, McLean and Abel, and then on the other stuff for my other show, Launchpad Pod. As we mentioned, we got to give away some blood coins, so let's throw this up. Today's blood coin word, absurd, because we're just that silly. Thanks for all the input today. There's some really good movies.
A lot of great Great suggestions from Karen, Izzy, Alinka, a lot of people. Someone at the beginning of the chat, Tim. Oh yeah, we had a lot of great suggestions today.
Yeah, we'll be throwing up that list. And until next week, guys, stay weird, watch some horror movies, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.